Blast me to Electia! It's time for the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey, Issue 46, Part 1, Lore, Build and Paint Guides. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So today we are looking at issue 46 and we have reinforcements for the Adepta Sororitas. So we got our models here, just move the bases out of the way. So we got our models here and they are an amazing set of models. We will look closely at them in a minute. And we have our magazine here, so we have 7 models in this magazine. That's all of them just there. So we got Adepta Sororitas reinforcements, a thrilling new story, and we have Adepta Sororitas rules and a mission. Then we have a beautiful shot of a squad of Seraphim. The Superior with her power sword and bolt pistol. We got one there with Inferno pistols. And one with twin bolt pistols at the back there. So let's have a look at our frames and the insides of the magazine. So here we have our components, and first off we've got ourselves our bases and flying stands for our Seraphim. So we have 5 32mm bases, that's 2 for the Seraphim and 3 for the Battle Sisters. We have one 25mm base for our Arco-Flagellant and one 28mm base for our sister Repentia. And here we have the sprue itself, and it is jam-packed with crazy nuns with guns goodness. So we have on here our Arco-Flagellant up in the corner here. He has a choice of 2 heads, so when you get the other identical frame you can at least give him a little bit of a unique finish. We then have our sister Repentia. Again, she has 2 head options, a more bare head with a pretty much shaved head, just a little bit of hair at the front there. Build guide and paint guide does tell you to use this head in particular with the cloth hood. There's her eviscerator chainsword, bedecked with skulls and fleur-de-lis. And we can see on her arms the ports for her power armor. So that's really quite nice. And again, you can see the ports along the side of her legs for where her power armor plugs in. And again, where it interfaces with her spine. So some really nice detail on those models. Moving down the frame, we have 2 of our 3 Battle Sisters here, and again, like all models on this frame, we got 2 head options, a bare head or a helmeted head, and each one is of course unique. So we got one head there, and we got a slightly different head there with a bit more of a sneer going on. Helmet heads are more or less all the same, but other than that you do have a good choice of variety. Building wise, I'm probably going to leave the bolt guns off, possibly, I'm not too sure yet, it depends on how much detail I want to actually put into these models. We do have the backpacks, each one is different, but their attachment points are, I believe, the same. They all have this odd, I'd say pentagonal shape, but it's actually a slightly 6-sided shape where it goes flat at the top there. But we can easily mix and match these between the varying models, so we can get a bit of variety from frame to frame. Moving down, we have the Seraphim, who again have the standard 2 head options. So we got bare head one there, And Barehead 2 there. She looks like she's screaming in holy vengeance while firing away with her bolt pistols. And then each one is just a few components. We've got a front and a back, so you can't mix and match between the two. But the way the arms are connected, if you have a multi-part Seraphim kit, you can easily swap out a few arms if you so wish, and have a little bit of variety. I'm definitely considering getting a box of the Seraphim just to build them up as Zephyrim, and then have the spare hand flamers and Inferno pistols, etc. spare, so that I can personalise my other squads that I'm going to be getting. And then finally at the bottom of the frame we have our third and final battle sister. So she's just charging forward, carrying her gun. Purity seal flowing off the back there. Yeah, I think they look really quite nice. So there we have it. Let's get into our magazine then. So here we have issue 46. And we have, of course, the wonderful models. This is what they'll look like fully built up. And as usual, there's at least one magazine that decides to fall to pieces in each delivery. So in this issue then we get 2 battle records, one for the Sisters of Battle and one for the Seraphim. We build and paint our battle sisters. Then we learn to get the rules for our battle sisters and Seraphim, and we learn to fight with them in a regroup and reorder mission. So there's not a lot in here. A lot of the magazine is actually built up with the paint guides, so we'll have a look at those in a minute. First off, we get the battle records for our 2 new units. We haven't got the battle records for the Arc of Flagellants and Repentia yet. They will be coming in a future issue. So, Battle Sisters, Warriors of the Faith. Battle Sisters form the front line of all Adepta Sororitas armies. Armoured in thick ceramite plate and empowered by faith, Battle Sisters surge forward, heedless of incoming fire, chanting prayers to the God Emperor and dispensing his justice upon the heretic and the Xenos. So this is the unit we'll be getting. So we have a nice set of models. We got 6 models that are matching pairs of 3 different designs. Then we have 4 unique models in the form of the Stormbolter, the Flamer, the Superior with her chainsword and bolt gun, and the Banner Bearer or the Simulacrum Imperialis. So each battle sister is adorned with, of course, the Fleur de Lis, the Adepta Sororitas' order symbol. And the weapons we got are the Artificer Stormbolter and the Ministorm Flamer, so they're much better than the Flamers and Stormbolters utilised by the Imperial Guard. So the Flamers are actually a Strength 4 Flamer, I believe, and I think the Stormbolter has a little bit more of a punch in the arm and penetration category. So the squad have been named with the previous 2 issues. They are the Heralds of Wrath, and they are a specialism of Vanguard troop. So my squad leader is Penitence Demeter. She was abandoned in the wake of a Tyranid attack and found and raised by the Scholar Progenium. My Simulacrum bearer is Olga Montaigne. She is the last surviving scion of a knightly family who have been obliterated in a war. We got Ida Perdita. She carries the squad's flamer. Her father was Astra Militarum commander, and he was killed in duty, so she was taken in and raised up again. And finally, Amity Dawn wields the squad Stormbolter. She's the orphaned child of a Hive City noble. Then we got a Miracle Dice tracker there, so every time the first time you use a Miracle Dice for a unit, you can tick off the number that you used and what it is used for. So the rules of the Miracle Dice course will be in future issues. and of course any dramatic things that happen to the unit during the battle. Next up then we got our Seraphim squad, Angelic Shock Troops, not Shop Troops. Equipped with jump packs and wielding a variety of pistol weapons, Seraphim squads thunder down from the heavens like avenging angels. They use their superior speed and maneuverability to outflank their opponents, crashing into their flanks before taking flight once more. So we got the war gear for the squad, so they are all armed with twin bolt pistols. The superior has a power sword and plasma pistol in place of her double pistols. They all have jump packs, and they have the chaplet Ecclesiasticus, which is their prayer, which is a string of prayer beads and the symbol of the ecclesiarchy there. Then we got Private Ripley Ripcord again coming in, giving a recount of him witnessing the descent of a Seraphim squad, breaking the Xenos lines right before his very eyes before he disappeared off again. And so my battle record has been filled out, and they have been known as the Angels of Death. No, not the Space Marines, just the Angels that bring death. They are specialists, this is when my tongue stops working, specialists at supporting embattled allies. So if they find someone who is struggling to keep the enemy at bay, they will intervene. And we get to name every member in the squad, as there's only 5 members in the squad. So my superior is Ryla Rose. She was mysteriously spared by a murderous Aldari, and she is quite rightly risen to prominence within the Battle Sisters. We got Sister Hermione Fane. She was a child of a naval officer, orphaned. Verity Nil, drawn from Terran nobility. Constance Praxis, she was plucked from the midst of a hive massacre. And Jocelyn Helicia, parents were killed by genocide occultists. I kept rolling ones I've already previously rolled, so I just chose what I thought was the better of the 2 that were remaining, which is 4 and 5. But there we have it. That's my battle record for my Seraphim. So moving on, we've got our build guide. So got important information about clipping. So some components are fragile and may break if you clip too close to them. Clip closer to the frame and then clip once you have removed the component from the frame. When gluing the plastic stands, glue may take longer to set. Hold the flight stand in place while the glue dries to ensure it bonds. These will, of course, snap off over time for a pastime. I have my Inceptors from Conquest, and they just keep snapping off all the time. I think it's mainly because I've used super glue back then, and there wasn't a proper bond, so it just kept snapping off and off and off, and it's getting annoying. And then when gluing to the base, use a large amount of glue and keep some pressure on it to ensure it adheres properly. Building our Battle Sisters, they are all pretty much a few components and you're done. These are of course monopose models, so there's not much in the way of posing you can get out of them. The only thing is you do have the optional heads. Well, it doesn't show in this issue, but you can of course choose to use them as you wish. I'm guessing in a future issue they will show you the build guide for the sisters with the bare heads. But sisters 1 and 2 go together much the same, just arms, bolt guns, 2 halves of torsos, backpacks and heads. Sister 3 is a little more in depth. She's got a separate arm component there, and then she's got the optional pistol, so you get 2 pistols per frame, so you can add them to other members of the squad. Then we have our Seraphim, so we've got Seraphim 1 and Seraphim 2. So one is pointing out to the right, the other one's pointing out to the left. I'm Going to be leaving the backpacks off mine just to make it easier for reaching all the detail that would otherwise be blocked. I might also possibly glue the backpacks straight to the flying stand, put a bit of masking tape around the flying stand just to make spraying it a lot easier. That's how they go together, and my magazine's falling to pieces again. Then we have our base sizes. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, 32mm for our Battle Sisters and Seraphim, 28 for our Repentia, and 25 for the Arco-Flagellum over the page. So, how to build your Repentia. She goes together much the same. Gluing her leg on, gluing the chainsword on, and gluing one of the two head options on. And then building out Arco-Flagellum, 2 halves of the body, the arm, and then his face. And that is our finished models, and of course we will be getting a second set of this later on in the collection to finish off our squads. So we'll get another 2 Seraphim, another 3 Sisters, and another 1 of each of those. That will finish off the squads, giving us 3 Flagellants, 4 Repentia, 5 Seraphim, and a 10 squad of Battle Sisters. So onto our paint guide. There isn't much different to what we covered in the Canoness, so I will just quickly run through it. The only difference is we are painting corn red on the inner of the robes, Mephiston red on the outer robes and the eyes. We are picking out the belts and pouches with Mournfang brown, lead belcher on weapons, vents, controls, etc. And on the wings of the jump pack, then white on the face plates, the prayer beads, and the icons on the shoulder pad. Then our final base layers are Corax white on the rocks, Screen of pink on Purity Seal wax, and Rack of Flesh on the Purity Seal parchment. Then we're going into our wash stage, so we are putting Agrax Earthshade over the rocks and the Purity Seal. Everything else is getting Nuln Oil. So it includes the Purity Seal wax, all the white, brown, the reds, and you can even do the black as well if you wish, just to give a little bit of more definition. Then we're picking out all the gold details with Retributor armor. So we've got the symbols hanging from the Seraphim, the domes on the jump pack here, different icons scattered throughout the models. After that, we're then washing them with Franklin Flesh Shade before we go mad with our edge highlighting. So picking out all the silver details of Stormhost Silver. And finally we're basing with Astrogranite and Nuln Oil. So there we go. Moving on then, we've got our Arco-Flagellum and Repentia, both of which are being based with 3 layers of Corax White. So I think I might have to invest in a new Corax White, or at least a white of some kind anyway. So we are picking out first of all the gold details. So we've got the visor on the Arco-Flagellum, the injectors, the hilt on the Eviscerator. Then we're giving the models an all-over shade of Franklin Flesh Shade, so it covers the skin, the head, the gold we've just painted. After that, we are picking out all the silver detail with Lead Belcher. So we've got the Eviscerator, the Arco-Flagellum's weapons, different icons, and the joints for the power armor on the Repentia. Picking out Screen of Pink on our Purity Seal wax, the hilt of the Eviscerator, and the hood on our Repentia. Abaddon Black for the Repentia's bodysuit, and the loincloth, and flail coils on the Arco-Flagellum. Mephiston Red for small red cables and fluid inside the injectors on the Arco-Flagellum. Then Rack of Flesh for any Purity Seals. Moving on to the shades, so we're doing Agrax Earth Shade on the parchment and the stones on the base, non-oil on all the black, red, pink and silver details, and then finally we are edge highlighting all our silver and gold with Stormhost Silver. And our final touch is to put a layer of astrogranite on the base, and once dried, apply a wash with non-oil. And there's our finished models, and they do look really quite nice. Can't wait to see what we do in future issues. We are getting red in our next delivery, so we'll be adding some extra highlights to the cloth and robes on the sisters. That'd be quite nice to see. And we're also getting pink in the issue with red, so we'll be highlighting all the purity seals and stuff. But I'm going to go off and build and paint these, and I will see you in the next episode. So that's it for issue 46 of Imperium. Let's bring everything all back in, so our bases and flight stands. So there we have it all. Rather fun-filled and paint-heavy focused issue. Not a lot of background, so it's nice to have any more focus on how to paint everything. Some of the previous issues where they've done paint-heavy guides and also lore, they rushed the paint guides, I felt. So it's nice to have a rather thought-out issue. Excuse me. So that is it. That's all to say for issue 46, and I would like to thank you, of course, for watching. If you think I deserve it, please give me a like. Also, comment down below how you are going to be painting your Sisters of Battle, and also comment if you would like to see a more in-depth paint guide. Personally, there's not a lot of difference between the Sisters of Battle and the Canoness that I painted in issue 42's paint guide, so you can always watch that. If anything, I might do a paint guide for the Repentia and Archive Flashing for those that wish to see such a thing. But also, don't forget to share the video and let people know about the channel. If you feel like I deserve it, there's of course my affiliate links and my Buy Me a Coffee link if you'd like to help support the channel. And of course all my other social medias in the description down below, where you can follow along my hobby progress. So again, I'd like to thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time for more mad content. Goodbye.